again. Take two. My voice was not recording the last time I was doing this. Okay, so my dryer is going in the background. My daughter's in my office with me, and I'm just filming this first portion that you would do on the computer. Let me kind of go over what I'm showing you today. So I have made a video within the last month or so about like creating your own Google form and connecting it with a QR code and kind of showing you guys how I do my progress monitoring. And by the end of July, I am looking into and I will figure out how to have my first set of like 10 of these Google Forms on TPT for sale. But right now, if you're a member of a Facebook group called the Resource Room, it's led by Amanda Whip, I believe it is. She's the primary gal on TPT, and I know she has a few YouTube videos as well. She has a Facebook group, and I did post my entire goal Google Forms folder on there. As soon as I do post them on TPT, that will be going away. So just letting you know, they are there right now if you want to search that Facebook group. So I put the link in, so when you get to the link, what you're going to click on the link in that group if you're part of that group. I will make a new video on how to do this once I put it onto TPT to show you guys how to do this. It's going to be the same concept though. So you're going to have a bunch of forms here, okay? And it might seem just very overwhelming, the amount of forms that you'll see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, like I said, we're going to do the first part, and then I'm going to bring my son in, and I'm going to do quote-unquote progress monitoring with him to show you how it then goes from the computer to how I do it in the moment. So before school starts, before you start working with your students, you need to do this for every single student that you have. So you're going to need to go onto your Google Drive, and you need to create a separate folder. I have like my name, just Amy Glassett, and within that folder, I have all of my students have a folder. I'm not going to click on that because of confidentiality. So for now, I just have one folder that I just called example student. I could even say example students. Let's rename it. Example students. And then within here, I can create a new folder for each student that I have. So I can have a folder for, we're going to do my son Shane Glassett. So we're going to create that folder. We're going to open it up. You can color code it. You can do whatever you want. So now Shane has his own folder that I'm going to copy everything into. So you're going to go to that drive that I shared with you, and you're going to just scroll through. You're going to find what goals match your student the best. Okay? So I know that he has a reading fluency goal. So I'm going to click on reading fluency. Make sure you click into it. Otherwise, when you make it, if you just do the 3 dots there, it makes a copy into that main folder. Once you click into the Google form, you're going to click on the 3 dots, and then you're going to make a copy. From here, you can rename it, and so I'm going to name it Shane Glassett Reading Fluency. Instead of saving it into this folder, I'm going to go back to my drive. Like I said, if I were to click on this one, you would see all of my students, so I'm not going to do that. So we're going to scroll down to example students. There's Shane Glassett, and now I can save this. I can make that copy. Once you make the copy, it's going to open up another tab with your now copied. So I'm going to get rid of the other one. So I'm not going to mess with my original. Never mess with the original. And then this is where you get to really differentiate with your student here. So I can put their name here. And if you have paras, when they do this, when they come onto this is a really good chance for them to see what the goal is. Instead of them just arbitrarily taking all of this data, they can see what the goal is, so they can like encourage the student when they're doing the progress monitoring, like, oh, you were so close, or we can work on this one thing to improve for next time, kind of a thing. So given an unpracticed, I'm going to say 4th, because he's going into 4th grade. 4th grade level text, Shane will read, we're going to say 90 correct words per minute. I need to, in my original, I need to capitalize all this. Correct words per minute with 98% accuracy for 3 out of 3 trials. So there, now he has his own thing. From here, what I do is I then create the QR code. Now, I use Flowcode. I'm not going to go on to my Flowcode because, one, I do pay a subscription for my Flowcode every single month. And I do that so I can access my codes, I can alter things, I can rename things, I just have an access to those codes in case I delete a file off of my Google Drive. I can redo the thing. So I save all my QR codes like that. If you want a free QR code generator, I did find QR Code Monkey, and so that's right here. So just qrcode/monkey.com. So you can definitely do that. But to get your QR code, because I have my aides and myself, we scan the code with our phones while we're progress monitoring, or right after, and we plug it in right then and there. So what you can do is you're going to go to that 3 dots again at the top, and you're going to click on Get Pre-Filled Link. You're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says Get Link, and then you're going to click on Copy Link. Once you do that, you can go to whatever QR generator that you're going to use. Like I said, this one is QR Code Monkey. It's 100% free, it says. And so I'm just going to, where it says your URL, you're just going to paste it right there. And then I'm going to create the code. So after you create the code, you can download your code. So it's downloaded it for me. So I'm going to click out of that. And then I'm just going to open up here on the side. My QR code is right here in my downloads. I recommend once you do the next step, I would just throw it away in your trash, because or you can rename it from there, whatever you want to do, and you can save them. So it's up to you what you do from there. So I'm going to go back to my son's file here. I'm going to create a new document. It's going to be a slides. And here's where I'm going to put all of those QR codes, because what I'm going to do after I create this sheet is I'm actually going to print it out. You know, I can just use this. Shane Glassett QR codes. I print this off and I laminate it, and I keep it in a folder or a binder that gets pulled out every single time we do progress monitoring. Everything that I need for progress monitoring is within that folder or that binder, and so I don't have to go searching around for papers or anything like that. It is preset. I just have to pull out the folder or the binder, and boom, I am ready to progress monitor, which is really nice. All of the planning and preparation is done in advance. So I'm just going to title this Shane, I could type Shane Glassett QR QR codes. I really cannot. I blame my keyboard. Okay. So from here, I'm going to just insert that image of that QR code. So I'm going to scroll down to the downloads. So it's right here. I'm going to resize it. And some of these you can keep kind of big. Some of them you want to make small because you want to fit all of your QR codes here. So then I'm going to insert a text box right below it so that I can just say that this is his reading fluency goal. So just reading fluency. Gotta love fluency. Gotta love my dryer music. That's done there. Okay, so that one's done. So then you just do that same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, that's the pre-filled link one. I'm just going to click out of it. I don't need that anymore. I don't need this one anymore. I'm going to go back through that set of Google Forms that I have, and I'm going to find the next one that I need him to be able to do. So maybe it's spelling. I'm not going to give him a spelling test because we're going to really push it by just even using him as my demonstration child. But you can see that there's a bunch of different things. My daughter has like a pole. I don't even know where she got it from. So maybe what I will have him do is multi-digit problems. Let's do that. So same thing. I clicked into the file. I go ahead and I ask for a copy. We're going to make a copy of this. So it's going to be, and we're just going to do 2 as a demonstration. So Shane Glassett, multi-digit problems. We're going to put it into his folder. Copy of that. I'm going to put his name here. Yeah, I really don't know where you got this PVC pipe from, Wilson. Where did you find it? I don't know where she found that. So within this one, you can have different benchmarks: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. You can get rid of whatever ones you want to get rid of. After you make your copy, that's where you make all of your changes. Since he is going into 4th grade, I would probably recommend, hey, let's, they start doing multi-digit multiplication. I could get rid of that division one if I wanted to. So from here, I'm going to do those same steps. I'm going to get a pre-filled link. So go to the pre-filled links. Get rid of that one. I'm going to scroll down, click get link, copy the link. I'm going to go to the QR monkey and then paste that link in there, create the code, download the code. Go to his QR code. I'm going to insert another image. It's going to be this one because I forgot to do it. So that's the second one. So we're going to upload this one. We're going to just change the size to match the other one, possibly. I don't know. That looks a little bit bigger. Doesn't matter. Then just take this, copy it, paste it, so I can move it over. And I call it multi-digit problems. Multi-digit problems. And that's all I'm going to show you guys for this. I would make this look more even. I would align everything. I group things. I do more to this to make it look more presentable. But that's really all it takes to create your students' QR code sheet. And it's all you have to do to get the forms in there. So the next clip that you'll see is me actually progress monitoring my son in these 2 subject areas, so I can show you how I do this. So I'll end up printing out the sheet, and you'll see an overhead view of what I do from there. Okay, so we are on to the next part. I showed you guys how to copy over to create a student file. And so now we are into the actual progress monitoring. Just a sec, this seems very zoomed in. I'm gonna try to zoom us out a little bit, maybe. That's as zoomed out as we can get. Okay, that's fine. So what I'm going to show you guys first is what I use to do this. So let me get, this is my QR code page. So like I said, I do print this out for every single student. We're only doing 2 things here for the example today, but sometimes this only has 2 things, like reading fluency. If there's reading fluency, there's usually reading comprehension. I'm not doing reading comprehension today for progress monitoring. But there's usually at least 2 or more goals on here. Some students have way more than that for me. Some only have like 2. But they each have their sheet. This will be in their either folder or binder for each week during progress monitoring time. This is the first thing I say, hey, I need your QR code sheet. And the students know to grab this and hand it to me. So I usually have like the student stacks, and after I'm done with it, I hand it back to the student and they put it back in their folder or binder. So that's the first thing that I'm gonna need. The next thing I kind of wanted to go over with how I came up with the placing, I use the Brigance. It's called Comprehensive Inventory of Basic Skills 2. I'm hoping they're going to come out with another version because they're not going to sell the Brigance, this certain Brigance test after October of this year. And for like a class set for your teacher's book, you don't necessarily need the student books, record books. You can come up with your own things. Like I created, it's a fillable PDF. It's the first time that it printed, kind of funny for me. But I can just fill this out on the, oh, my battery's gonna die. I can just fill this out on my computer and then print it out. After, I'm gonna see if I have a battery. Oh no. Okay, change the battery. So like I said, they're only going to be selling that Brigance test until the end of October. It's like almost $400 for it. If you can get your school to buy it, or if you have the funds to purchase it, I highly recommend it. It is a standardized test and it gives you so much information. It not only tests reading fluency and comprehension, it also tests for spelling, it tests for all of your math things, it tests readiness skills for kindergarten, it tests listening comprehension, just listening skills. There's a speech portion in it, it tests writing. Like, it tests everything. It is a comprehensive inventory. So you'll get all of your baseline data, and I try to use this test 3 times a year with my students so that I can, there's progress monitoring, which I do weekly, and then there's this test that I do 3 times a year to just make sure that my progress monitoring is lining up with their progress with the standardized test. So, and we use the Acadians, which used to be Dibbles and stuff like that at our school. I don't really love that because it's not a person that they know that's testing them, and so my students tend to do way worse on those things than they do on testing with me with their actual progress. So I like having my own thing. Okay, so anyway, with this, the first thing that I did is I tested his word recognition. Mastery is 6 words out of 10. He was able, zoom in on this, he was able to pass the pre-primer, primer, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and moved on to the 4th grade where he got 5 out of 10. He's going into 4th grade. So I was actually really impressed that he was able to do that. That meant, sweet, thank you. Just set it on the desk over there. And I'll take care of it later. Okay, thank you. That should mean, if he could read those words correctly, that means I should have been able to start him on a 3rd grade passage and he should have been able to read that fluently. But as I did that, I started him on a lower 3rd grade. In order to pass this, they have to have 97% accuracy. It doesn't necessarily matter how many words per minute they're reading, but they have to have the accuracy. And for comprehension, accuracy is way more important than speed. Yes, you have to have a certain amount of speed to comprehend, but it's way more important to be accurate. So at a lower 3rd grade, he was at 94% accurate, and he was at 76 correct words per minute. By the end of 3rd grade, he should have been, for correct words per minute, that's 100 words per minute. So he is a little off on there. But because he didn't get that 97% accuracy, I needed to move down a level, and so I moved him to the upper 2nd grade, and he actually got 94% again, and he actually read a little bit slower. He got 65 correct words per minute. So then I'm like, okay, we'll move down one more time. On here, he only made one mistake. You could tell he was a lot more comfortable with that passage. He got 99% accuracy, and he was at 104 correct words per minute. That means that right now, we're at a 2nd grade reading level. He is mastered lower, so we should be working on like a middle, upper 2nd grade level for progress monitoring for reading fluency. Now, it tells a different story with comprehension here though. So for comprehension with the Bergantz, you first start with a reading vocabulary comprehension test. And so it gives you 5 words, and the student has to read the 5 words, and they tell you what word does not belong. And he passed off the 1st grade and 2nd grade, and then he didn't pass off 3rd grade. That meant, hey, I get to start him at 2nd grade, which made sense to me because, hey, his fluency's at 2nd grade. Let's start his comprehension at 2nd grade too. So I did that, and then he shocked me because he passed off lower 2nd grade, got 5 out of 5, passed off upper 2nd grade, 5 out of 5, passed off lower 3rd grade, 5 out of 5, passed off upper 3rd grade, 5 out of 5, and then once we got to the 4th grade, and again he's going into 4th grade, that's where he got 2 out of 5. You can do a longer passage for this. I chose not to because it's summer and I didn't want to fatigue my son. Okay, the next thing I'm going to go over that I have for this is I use Ames. You want to have everything that you can have prepared for your progress monitoring course. I use Ames Web for reading fluency. So this is the teacher's copy because it has the numbers on the side, and this is the copy that he'll get, and he'll get 1 minute to read this. Just to show you the math side, I am going to have him do addition with regrouping, 3-digit by 3-digit. And okay, you guys, I use the Primary Gal. This is the Primary Gal stuff, and I just went on to her stuff, and I've used her stuff for like, this is my 3rd year now using her stuff for my math progress monitoring, stuff like this. She's changed it. She updated it, and I was so lucky. I'm like, because I've already purchased it, I get her updated stuff. There used to only be 2 forms for each thing. There's now 4 forms, which is really awesome. And so you have your sheet that they get. Then if you want, you can just have, I printed off, there's like an answer sheet. But then if you're progress monitoring on paper, and I still do use paper things so students can see it, the answers are still like right here. And then you just put the date that you progress monitored and then the correct number of problems. So this looks completely different than what I used to have, kind of a thing. The only thing that I really did like about the other one is I knew what problems they were consistently getting wrong because it was laid out, so like since it was A, B, so you had, it was this way, and then you had like form A, form B, form A, form B, A, B, and then she had all of the answers like listed, like all 10 like listed in this box here, and so I would just circle the ones they would get right, kind of a thing. That way I knew which ones they were having problems with consistently. But you guys, I'm so excited about the fact that there's just 4 No, this is 4-digit. This is 4-digit. I might have gotten this wrong. I printed off the wrong one. But anyway, but there's 4 forms. So I'm really excited about that. So we will start with, Shane is already here with me. He can say hi if he wants, just putting his finger right underneath. And you're gonna hear him reading and stuff like that. And I'm gonna show you how I do my progress monitoring. So you can use an actual timer if you want, like a stopwatch timer. Second, my husband's texting me. I use an app called Multi-Timer, which I actually I have to add. I erase all of my stuff, and so I'm slowly adding things back on. But I have a counter for like counting the mistakes that they make. And then I need to add a 1-minute countdown timer. I'll just keep an eye on this to make sure that when I get to, it gets to 1 minute, I'll stop him. So we're going to start with that, and then I will show you what I do after that. So we're going to listen to him read for a minute. So here you go. Start when you're ready.
I'm at my house. Friday night is my family night. Our whole family gets together to do some fun. 2 weeks ago, we went bowling last Friday. We went to an art show this week. We plan to see the movie at the movie theater. What movie shall we see? Dad asked. Crash. I like to watch superheroes fly. I like animal movies. My sister said, I want to see horses run free in the fields. I want to see whales swim in the sea.
Stop. So I'm going to mark that he went here. He did skip an entire line. So right here he skipped that entire line. I marked that as 1 mistake, but I need to subtract. So it says that he attempted 95 words, but since he missed a whole line, he really attempted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 95 minus 12. So he actually attempted 83 words. So while I am showing you guys this next portion that I do, I'm going to actually have him start his math. So he's going to start with this. And when I had this, it's just Form A, Form B. I had these laminated as well so that I could keep reusing them. We will see what I do at this point, since now there's four forms. Okay, so here you go. Here's a pencil. You get going with that.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to just kind of calculate here. So he did make 7 mistakes out of the 83. So I'm going to say, so he attempted 83 words. We're going to remember that. I don't normally write on this page, but I'm going to write he attempted 83 words. He read, so 83 minus 7 equals 76 words correctly. And that's in 1 minute, so he's at 76 correct words per minute. I don't have to do any fancy math or anything like that. But that gives us an accuracy rate of 83, 92%. Okay, so I have some data points here. Oh, and 7 mistakes. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take his QR code page and take my phone, go to my camera, and your camera should just automatically scan QR codes. So I show you here, I'm scanning this first code here, so it's bringing it up, and it automatically gives me that Google form that you guys saw me create. So I'm just going to put in today's date. Let me actually see if I can do something for you guys. I don't know how to do it. Never mind. We'll just go up like this. So I'm going to put in today's date. So today is July 9th of 2023. He read a second grade passage. He attempted, we said, what, 83 words? Yep, he attempted 83 words. He made 7 errors. So that gave me an accuracy of 92%. I don't put any percent signs or anything like that on here because when you transfer it to Google Sheets, it doesn't like those percent signs. So I don't do that. So that means that he read 76 correct words per minute, and then I just submit it. And then I'm done. I progress monitored. My aides can do this, and then I have access to all of their progress monitoring. So we're going to give Shane some more time here to finish his math, and I will bring you guys back when he's done. Okay, he just finished. Y'all, not gonna lie, try not to cry right now. He's going into 4th grade, and I can tell you where he made his mistakes. And I showed him because he was so proud that he did this, and he's like, how many did I get right? I'm like, I don't want to tell you. He didn't get any of them right. He just added 7 plus 4 equals 11, so he wrote 11. 6 plus 8 equals 14, he wrote 14. 7 plus 9 equals 16, he wrote 16. And he did that for all of them. So his basic math skills, this is what this is telling me, is that he's got some basic math skills and he has some strategies. He was doing the count up method for all of them. So he would start at the big number, so 7, and he'd go 8, 9, 10, 11. So he has some good strategies for that, but now we need to move it further. And so I told him, I was like, well, I know that he has a resource teacher at school. I think I need to be helping him more at home as well, because I have the skills and the capacity to do that. Hopefully when the school year starts, I will have the mental capacity. But summer school ends this Thursday, so at least for the rest of the summer I need to do something with him to get some of these skills boosted. So he didn't get any of them right. So what you would do now is you would scan, same process. I'm going to my camera, hovering over that next one for the multi-digit problems, clicking it, and it brings me to my next one. So multi-digit problems, same thing. So I'm going to have the date, 09, 07. Today's the 9th, 2023. My benchmark was addition. You can even add this to have another benchmark, so it tells you what digit by what digit. I don't have that on this one. And then he got 0, so I'm just gonna write 0 and submit that. So there we have it. I would actually recommend having that other benchmark for by how many digits, since this is a multi-digit problem. This battery is about to die now as well, so I'm going to wrap this up. So now you could go on to your computer and you can then see the data on your computer. You can make, as soon as you get multiple progress monitoring things, you can make it into a graph. You could do all those things on Google Sheets. So that's my process with progress monitoring, and it actually, once you're in the routine, it goes really fast and it saves you a ton of time. So that's it.